Okay, there we go. Live? Did it say we were live?
Yes.
Okay, there we are. There it is. It's lagging. So I have a new microphone. So if it sounds like I'm screaming, tell me and I'll put it down.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. Well, it is Monday nights. Yes, we got it the right night at almost the right time. We're so close. Um, so happy Monday wherever you guys are at. We are here and we have got some topics for you today. Hey, Crystal, glad to see you. Thank you for hanging out. Um, we are discussing something that is like pretty serious. Women and men talk about this, and that is weight gain in recovery and triggers.
Yes, huge trigger. I mean, weight gain is a huge trigger. I remember when I was in my addiction for years, I stayed in my addiction because I wanted to maintain my weight.
Absolutely. And I can remember being, um, you know, earlier in my addiction, like before it really became, when I still kind of was like, it was like partying on the weekends, maybe into Monday, and it was like, oh, I can do this and I can be skinny and I can, lose some weight because I started getting on the white powdery substances and
Mhm.
like, oh, well, if I do this on the weekends, like I can lose weight. And then I would like not do it for a little while, gain a little bit of weight, and then be like, oh my goodness, what do I do? Yes, I need to do some more. I need to go back to doing
Right.
that, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think another component of that too is the energy, right? Because you have so much energy to get everything done. And in the beginning, in the good dope days, right?
Yeah.
We had energy and we actually completed tasks. But then eventually, like you just have so much like strung out energy that you never get anything done. But, lack of energy is also a big thing for people that are early in recovery.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my goodness. I remember being so shot out that I would start projects. Like I started like 50 different projects, but never finished anything.
Same.
Yes, yes. So yes, Kayla is on the page with us. She understands. Can't lose it. Candace, I want to take diet pills, but I know it's a bad idea. Um, Angela, oh, there it is. Weight gain is my trigger, kept me out there for sure. Um, Facebook user, weight gain is a huge trigger. That alone can make someone relapse,
Yes.
thinking if I just use this day, then I'll get thin again. I know, it's so
Mhm.
crazy. It is so crazy how it affects us so much
Right.
mentally, right?
Mhm. Yeah, and
So
I think it's interesting how many people in these comments are like, "Me too. I struggle with the same thing."
yes, yes. Christopher, hello. Chris Sampson, hey. Nicole, Missy, I have a year and still have no energy. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So, how can we, like, what's the solution here? Because, especially in the first year, right? Don't we have to be so laser focused on our
Mhm.
recovery? Like, it's so hard to add these extra things in.
Yes, exactly. For me, my first 18 months of recovery, all I did was focus on my recovery, work on my insides, work on becoming beautiful on the inside, right? Because when your lights come on, so to speak, and the light in your eyes and in your heart starts to shine, like that alone adds beauty to you. Like true beauty comes from the inside, but like we want to feel good about ourselves, right? So I was doing
Right.
all this work on my insides, but I was tired all the time. I was napping all the time. I was eating junk food all the time. I just didn't feel good on the outside, not to mention what that kind of stuff does to your skin, like the caffeine that we drink when we're in recovery, right? Like, I know we're all
Mhm.
caffeine addicts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember we have this place called Jittery Joe's here, and they have this drink called a Crackaccino. That was my drink, Like today, I can't drink that. I cannot drink. That's crazy. Like, no, I can't drink that much caffeine. But in the beginning, oh yes, I was about
Yes.
that life. Yes. And dinner and a meeting, and
Mhm.
and also when you're in early recovery, you don't have like a lot of money to go to like Fresh Market, Whole Food, you know what I mean, to buy like
Yes.
the natural, because to eat better is more expensive. You can eat, well, actually, even McDonald's is expensive nowadays, but you know what I'm saying? Like double cheeseburgers all day long, you know what I mean? Like dollar menu, right? But then if you want to actually eat something that has some sustenance and that is good for you, it's going to
Mhm.
cost you money. And that's effed up.
Yeah, that's so true. So I started this regimen here recently where I'm really high protein, fruits and vegetables, and my grocery bill. Now I have a family of 4. My grocery bill went from about $350 a week to $600 a week just from
Mhm.
getting healthier things and making better choices.
Absolutely. Yep. Same. I know when you're on that high protein, I mean, how much does it cost for a thing of ground turkey now, right? It's so freaking expensive.
That's
It's
all we eat. It's
crazy.
either ground turkey or ground chicken.
Yes, I found this Maverick ground beef from Publix, and it's 97% fat free. So
Wow.
I'll get myself that sometimes for a little bit of flavor.
I'll have to try it.
Yes, it's good to mix it up.
Yeah.
And then also, have you tried the Impossible Burgers?
Listen, I've heard of these Impossible Burgers, but I just don't know if it's really gonna be good.
Okay, I legit love them. Yeah, I
Okay.
do. I do. So Kroger Impossible Burgers. I sound like I'm doing a commercial, but they have like, I want to say like 20 something grams of protein. They have like 14 grams of fat. And they have like some carbs in there too, like maybe 10 or 15 grams of carbs or something. But yes, like clean. They're clean. So I don't get like the frozen ones, but just like the, you know, refrigerated
Nice.
ones, but I really like them. Adam likes them, so yeah.
That's
um
how you know it's a winner is if the men like them too.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, because I thought it was crazy, but then like my trainer was like, no, I'm telling you, like these are really good. And I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
try it. So Casey says it was a huge reason my wife struggled with not changing the behaviors. When she got clean, she gained a little weight and couldn't stand it. And bingo, energy following through. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Ernest, glad you're here. Elena, Facebook user.
Yeah, just to let you guys know, we're using StreamYard, and for some
Yeah.
silly reason, for sometimes it just doesn't tell us the person's actual name. So if we call you Facebook user, it's just because that's what StreamYard is showing us right now, but
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Anna, I walk miles at work and can't lose it. So I think that, I remember, oh gosh, what was I? I was like maybe 2-ish years in, and I did start waitressing, and I was able to kind of get down. But I did get to, at 18 months sober, I was the heaviest. I was as heavy as I was when I delivered my children at 18 months sober, and it was crazy because it, like, within the first 6 months, it just came on. Like, it was
Hmm.
nuts. And I think it's because we screw up our metabolism so much when we are in active addiction, right? Because we don't eat. And we, I mean, I'm sure men are affected by this as well. Think that by not eating, we're going to do something. But when our metabolism is so screwed up like that, when we don't eat, our body goes into starvation mode
Mhm.
and your metabolism slows down. So, how
Yes.
can we make our metabolism work for us in early recovery?
Mhm.
There's a couple things, a couple little tricks that I have learned, and Sonya I know has got some good tricks.
Mhm.
So, but definitely just remember, I think the most important thing is I know for me, I had to keep reminding myself like this is just for a season. Like I'm going to start working on this, but right now I need to focus on this because we legit the energy thing is for real. You
Mhm.
only have so much energy in early recovery. You've got to prioritize. And then if you're in a sober living, you're on probation, you're in drug court, you've got so much stuff to do. You're a mama with kids running around or a dad, you got so much stuff to do. So
So true.
how do you prioritize it?
Mhm. I'm so glad you said that because that's exactly what it was for me. My first 18 months of recovery, I was on community control, which just so you guys know is like house arrest, but you don't have to wear a bracelet. But I was reporting twice a week. I had my case plan I was working that I was reporting on that once a week. I had meetings every single night. I was living in a halfway house. Like I had stuff to do every single day on top of going to work, doing the things I needed to do for my recovery. And that was enough, and you're right, because when you first get into recovery, your body is used to, being completely depleted of all nutrients. You're used to running full speed all the time, or the opposite, and then when you get in recovery, you just don't have the energy to do anything. So you're just doing the best you can to do the things that you need to do. So I love that you said, just know it's for a season, because there is like seasons in our lives and in our recovery where we continue to grow, and that's part of it, right? Becoming spiritually and mentally, emotionally, and physically fit. That's all a part of the recovery process, but you have to get the spiritual and emotional and mental part down
Mhm.
before the physical part, because without those other things, nothing else matters.
Right, right. And sleep too. You know what I mean?
Mm.
How long did it take you to sleep normal when you first
Oh,
came in?
for so long, literally for so long. And I think another thing too is like we didn't drink water. I was super dehydrated, and I know now how important water is, but I didn't believe that before until I tried it.
Right, right. So let's see. Anna says, I'm depressed because of it. And yes, I get it. I am. So, and look, oh my goodness. Let's talk about what it also affects. It also affects dating in recovery, right? Because when
Mhm.
we're feeling down on ourselves and when we're feeling like we have low self-esteem and we're wearing a bigger pant size than we're used to wearing, we may let our standards fall a little bit, right? We may really long for somebody to accept us because we can't accept ourselves, right? So
Right.
it's like we have to be really, really careful of not basing our value on like the number of the scale or the pant size that we're wearing in early recovery. That's so, so important. Because we just have to remember, like I just keep seeing like this picture of this like butterfly, you know what I mean? Like it's such a grand change to go from a caterpillar
Mhm.
to a butterfly. It takes time and it takes a
Mhm.
process, and you have to trust the process.
Seriously, that's so true. And it does, like, it affects your self-esteem, and, it's hard sometimes to even look in the mirror, but I think that just, like, doing esteemable acts, and doing the next right thing and going to bed at the end of the night knowing that you lived your life, like, to the best of your ability for the good for the day, like, that helped me a lot, one day at a time, and doing good things for other people too. That helped me a lot to build up my
Mhm.
self-esteem. And that's something you really have to work on when you get in recovery, because our self-esteem is so just
Mm.
destroyed when we get here.
Yes. Yes, we have like allowed and accepted people to treat us like dirt for so long, and even to
Mhm.
the fact where we started believing it, and um being able to give yourself grace for that too is really, really important. Kayla says, I'm almost 2 years and still hard to find energy some days. Teresa, 65 days off mat and I've gained weight. Even was able to continue my sobriety during the loss of my daughter.
I'm so sorry.
Yes, that's so hard. And but we're so proud of you. I mean, you're doing amazing. 65 days.
Yeah.
And a little bit of weight gain, but look, there's a longer road here. There's a bigger picture. So you got more time. You know what I mean? We've got more time. The fact that you even came into recovery means you got more time in your life, right? You
That's
got
right.
more time to achieve these goals. Believe me, like it is. Let me tell you something. Okay, so when I first came in, we used to have to walk to these meetings. I didn't have a car for the first 18 months. So I had to walk around the block, like to this meeting. And there was this one part where it was like up this hill. And I remember like, it was like at the halfway point, the hill got kind of like, it didn't really get steep, but to me, it was very steep. And my calves would like lock up and cramp and I couldn't breathe. Like I'm like, like trying to get there. And I'm trying to keep up with the other girls and trying not to sound like I'm dying. Walking next to them, which is why I don't run with people. Like when I do running now, like I run by myself because I still can't breathe. But I try. But I remember those days, like not even being able to walk halfway down the street. You know what I mean? Like it took so much, but it was just like taking a little bit at a time, making tiny changes.
Yes.
Very tiny changes. So
That's the key right there. What
Mhm.
you just said it's making small but significant changes. And you make those changes just like we work on a recovery, one thing at a time. You just take one thing out or add one thing in, and you just make small changes to your lifestyle. And it
Right.
eventually adds up, right?
I mean, like so let's get some examples here. All right. Let me tell you about one change that I made in the beginning of my journey was I switched from eggs to egg whites. One small change. I switched from milk to almond milk. Okay. I don't know if everybody can do this. I don't do this really anymore because I don't drink a ton of coffee, but I used to love that French vanilla creamer and I used to love like the Italian sweet cream. I started drinking my coffee black because there's so much sugar and carbs in that creamer and I liked it, and look, I'm telling you, it was an adjustment. I'm not going to lie. It is an acquired taste to drink your coffee black. But it took out that sugar. You know what I mean? This is what we're talking about. Just little changes. Now they have keto bread. Now you can do like bread with like lower carbs, there's so many, different things. And it does suck eating the same things every day. But right? Like if you're on like a fitness plan, you know what I'm talking about. We eating the hell out of some ground turkey.
Yep. Eggs for breakfast every single morning. Oatmeal after the gym every single day with blueberries on it and some sort of turkey or chicken or something healthy for dinner.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with that being said, now that I am eating healthier, and I'm going to say this just started like in the last 6 months of really buckling down and eating healthier. But now that I'm eating healthier, like if I want to eat a cookie or a piece of pizza, I do that. And I don't let it throw me off track either. Like, oh, I already fucked up. I might as well just continue to eat all the cake,
Yeah. Just eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
Now listen. Okay. Yes. Okay. I'm going to say one little thing and then let's talk about emotional eating. Okay. So I love sweets and chocolate, like Skittles, like they made that thing ban, like they said Skittles weren't for human consumption or something. I love Skittles. I eat a ton of Skittles, but I also love chocolate. So what I started doing was getting the dark chocolate, like the 76 or 85, whatever, like dark chocolate. And I will have like 1 or 2 pieces of it, like at night, like I'm not going to, like totally starve myself of the things that I love, but like that's like a healthier option to do
Right.
dark chocolate than just to do like a caramello, which is what I really want to eat.
Wait, I'm
Right?
stuck on the Skittles thing. I did not know that was I have Skittles in my bedroom right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think it actually, when I heard that they were, something in them was like not for human consumption. So they were trying to say like they're legit not edible. I think it made me actually eat them more. I was like, but they're so
Right?
good.
Don't tell me to not do something because
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it.
I love Skittles. Yes. And look, and here we go. Okay. Can we address this comment right here? Heather
Mhm.
Marie, me and my husband were just talking about this. 14 months sober today. Yes, celebrate you. The extra weight grosses me out. Can I tell you that this breaks my heart to hear you use the word gross about yourself? You are
Yeah.
beautiful. You are like wonderfully made perfectly. And please, 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 please give yourself some grace. Please give
Yeah.
yourself some grace. If you can just look in the mirror and find like 3 good things that you like about yourself. I know you got to like something about yourself, Heather. You probably got a great booty or something, like a little extra weight gives a little bit more booty. You know what I mean? You know how many squats I do to try to get booty? you know? So remember, like some people, like what you may think as a bad thing, like some women work out to get those kind of things, to get, curves and things like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's so true. And you know what? When I was in my addiction, I thought I looked so good. And let me tell you something, I did not look good. I looked like the Walking Dead skeleton. Like I looked,
Mhm.
and I was skinny, but my face was all picked up and I was dirty all the time and my hair was never brushed. And, I just, the only thing I was skinny. Everything else was
Mhm.
crap. So sometimes I know I understand, like I can relate with what Heather's saying because I remember feeling the same way about myself. But real beauty is truly on the inside. And just like Jamie
Mhm.
says, like look in that mirror and tell yourself that you're beautiful. Find those things that you like about yourself.
Yep, yep. So let's address emotional eating. Emotional eating. So what can we do? We're in early recovery. We're pissed because we don't have our kids. We're pissed because our baby daddy screwed us over. We're pissed because, right, for whatever reason, we're
Mhm.
pissed, right? We're just angry. Like this sucks, like whatever. I want to numb myself. I can't use substances, so I'm going to use food. How do we
Mhm.
combat this?
Well, I will tell you something. When I was in jail, I had this lady come in and she told me, she's like, you know what? If you want the M&Ms, eat the M&Ms. Fill the void. Because when you first find recovery, there is a void, an empty void inside of us. And sometimes if the food at least in the beginning, right? If you got to fill the void, but you're right, because you do like emotionally eat. And I think in a lot of ways, since I've tried to get on this healthy journey, it can be very comparable to addiction at times, right? Because sometimes I feel like I relapsed on food and I beat myself up for it. And, it's
Uh,
like I punish myself for relapsing on food. So it definitely, there's a connection there. Like I can be addicted to anything,
yes.
anything.
Yes, my trainer will legit be like, Jamie, take a day off, like stop, because I just want to work out every day. Like I don't know, is it the chemicals or whatever? Or also, when I take days off, I'm like tired the next time I come in. Like, no, I just want to like keep going. And he's like, no, you have to take days off. So you're right. We can get addicted to anything. And I like Casey says 9 months yesterday, very low in energy every day, and it is very challenging. I will say my best days are days spent with good friends and
Oh,
working healthy projects and being very busy on good things. So maybe if you know that there is a specific time that you emotionally eat, mine would be at night.
Yep.
Come home and eat the whole house. Okay. That's how I describe it. So I actually talked to a nutritionist when I was in hepatitis C treatment, and she told me to journal before I ate at night.
Hmm.
And she said that would help like process some of the emotions, and maybe journal, why am I eating?
Right.
What is it doing for me? How is it making me feel, or maybe try to like put it off, like, oh yeah, I want to eat like 2 bowls of Captain Crunch, but let me go upstairs and put some really good smelling lotion on me first, right?
Mhm.
Let me go spray some detangler conditioner in my hair, like something to pamper yourself, right?
Right. Hmm. Yeah, I love that. And I also love what Casey crowned with this comment. I love what they said because we draw energy from each other, right? And
Hmm.
she said my best days are spent with good friends. So maybe in those moments, like when I love that idea of journaling too, by the way. I wish if there's anything that I could change about my recovery, it is that I wish I would have started journaling from the very beginning because I could write a whole book by now. But like connecting with friends and getting the energy from them, I think that's really, really helpful. I always feel energized and refreshed after like talking to my good friends.
Absolutely. And talk to your friends about this, because this is part of recovery. So
Mhm.
don't be ashamed to believe me, your girlfriends are going through it too. I
Yes.
don't care what they look like. I don't care if you think that they look better than you, or you think whatever. I promise you, it's the
Mhm.
same. We're
Yes.
all the same.
Yeah, and you might open a door for them to be able to talk about how they're feeling if you talk about how you're feeling.
Exactly. Exactly. Elena, I have 4 months clean from Fent. Yes. It definitely takes a toll on energy, and I have severe anxiety and depression. So the Fent made my brain worse, even though when using it, it calmed me, but the longer effect was way worsening on anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
Yes. And I've been hearing that the fentanyl withdrawals now, like just from people that are messaging me who are withdrawing from fentanyl, that the withdrawal, like the detox is taking longer. Have you heard that?
I have. I have heard that, and I think that I don't know, I feel like it's shifting from what it used to be. I mean, they're putting so many foreign things in it these days, and I think it's changing a little bit. Plus that here's the thing about that stuff. You never know who is making it. Some
Yep.
Joe Schmo is making it in his bedroom. I know this from personal experience, and they have no idea what they are doing. More than likely, you're not getting it from a lab. You're getting it from somebody's house that they made it at their house. They have no idea what they're doing. So who knows what they put in it to cut it? I mean, you just don't know. So I definitely think that it's changing and it's super dangerous.
Mhm. Let's see. William, been a while, 11 months here. Yes.
Yes.
Back in Manchester, New Hampshire, my hometown, living in, what's that say, sober house, loving
That's what I'm
life.
thinking.
Thank
Yep.
you for being an inspiration. We're so glad that you're here.
Yes.
That's amazing. I have some friends going to do some harm reduction work up in Manchester, which actually in Portsmouth, which made me so happy, because most of my friends there are no longer alive. Those people I went to high school with. So it
Yeah.
is it is a place that definitely needs good examples, William. So you just keep pushing. You be that good example for people
Yeah.
who are trying to get it, because they need it in Manchester for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I feel so unhappy and healthy and trying to stay so strong, even with the weight gain. So, there's like little things, let's go back to like little habits that we can
Mhm.
do. Sarah said she tried keto. Keto is great temporarily.
Mhm.
Just be careful not to stay on it like too long, because it can cause the thing with keto. I was on it for like 2 years and I got really sick.
Mhm.
So I always tell people, like, if you're gonna do keto, cool, do it, but like for long term, it actually, like, I got really, really sick from it, because your actual cells are made up from carbohydrates. So if
Mhm.
you go like 2 years without eating carbohydrates, like, you're doing like damage to your genetic, like, cell makeup, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
agree. Well, let me just share my weight loss journey with you, right? So when I was about 18 months clean, a friend of mine started posting about the weight loss system that she was doing, like this supplement system, right? So I reached out to her and I got connected to her, and I tried it. It was like vitamins, a protein shake, or like a vitamin shake basically, and all vitamins, minerals, probiotics and stuff. And so I started doing the vitamin system, and I did that for about a year. And during that time that I did that, I started cutting back on my carbs a little bit, and I added a lot of water. It was half your body weight in ounces of water. So those are the
mhm.
two things that I changed in that year. And in that year alone, like, I lost 20 pounds, not from not eating carbs, just from cutting back on my carbs and eating smaller amounts, right? Like, where I would normally have like a big old bowl of macaroni and cheese, I only had a little bowl of macaroni and cheese, So those were like small but significant changes. And then what happened after that is I wanted to step it up a notch, right? Like, take it to the next level. So I started going to the gym. And when I started going to the gym, I would just go and get on the treadmill and get my endurance up, right? Like my stamina up. And I did that for at least another 6 months, just the treadmill. Then I decided I was ready to
Mhm.
level it up again. And that's when I got a personal trainer. It's a friend of mine in recovery. I got a personal trainer, and then we started doing weights, like weights all the time. And I still do supplements, but just not the same ones that I did before. Like vitamin B is good, vitamin C is good. All supplements are good, really. Probiotics are really good for you too. And then I started just recently in the last 6 months, I've done protein, like high protein diet. I try to eat my body weight in protein every single day, which is very hard
Mhm.
to do. And I never usually get it done. And then lots of fruits and veggies. And I still eat carbs. I just don't eat a
Mhm.
lot of them. And I still drink water. So it's like, in the last 2 years, like, I've made little changes at a time. And then once I get this down, then I add something else to it.
Same, same. That's mine too, because I've been on my weight loss journey since December of 2016. So it has
Mhm.
taken this whole time for me to get to. I mean, I guess, like, I don't even focus on like number weight anymore, because it's so weird. Like, I
Yeah.
see myself, I actually weigh the same exact number that I did like before I even like had my tummy tuck and everything, but my body is so different. Like, I'm like 3 sizes smaller in the legs,
Mhm.
like, not even, but like, it's like muscle. It's so crazy. So don't get caught up on the number. Like, take
Yes.
your measurements. If I can say that to you, ooh, take your measurements and see how
Mhm.
you're doing there, and eat more. I promise you. I'm telling
Mhm.
you, like, people think that they're eating enough, and they're usually not eating enough. And vitamins, for sure. I'm huge on vitamin B, like, that's energy, B12, B6.
Mhm.
B vitamins are great. Be careful of like getting your energy from like energy drinks, because there's always whenever there's a way up, there's always a way down. So I
Mhm.
get my energy from like working out. That's why I work out in
Yes.
the morning, because if I don't, then I just don't. It's so weird. Like, I do like an hour and a half workout and I have so much energy.
Mhm. That's so true. What I switched up like about 6 months ago, and I started working with this girl. I started working out in the mornings instead, and it's crazy because when I work out in the mornings, not only am I like in go mode for the rest of the day, right? Like, I'm so excited and I got my blood pumping and I'm proud of myself that I got it been worked out, but I have energy throughout the day. Like, that was a
Mhm.
game changer.
Yes. And when you start working out more, you're going to be hungry more.
Mhm.
So be careful. I have to be careful of that, because I'll be so my macros, if anybody knows anything about macros here, like,
Mhm.
My macros are 140 grams of carbs, 53 grams of fat, and 142 grams of protein. And it is now I can get those carbs in. You better believe it. I'll be going over on my carbs, so I had to start cutting back on them just so I could hit them. Because I'll just mindlessly with drinks or whatever, go over on them. So that I've had to just tweak that a little bit, but I'm getting so close, you guys. I was so excited today at the gym. I lifted 30 pounds heavier than I did 3 weeks ago.
That's
30
awesome.
pounds heavier on the leg press because I'm trying to go for those booty gains. And so yes. So do you get your healthy energy from proteins?
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's where it comes from. From proteins and from good carbs. If you have to eat carbs to have energy, but you want to eat good carbs. Like you don't want to eat white bread, but you can do rice. Rice is a good carb.
Yeah, it's rice. Sweet potatoes is usually my go-to is rice and sweet potatoes. Sometimes I'll do some wraps. There's a lavish bread, which is a flat bread that's good. You just cut it into pieces, and it's just nice to have like a bread-ish.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But healthy fats. Let's talk about healthy fats too. But you got to be careful with them because they're usually what do you say, like, I can't think of the word I'm thinking of. Like you only eat like small amounts, like to have like a good amount, right? So like 20 almonds is like a good healthy fat versus the smaller half of an avocado.
I love avocados.
Yes. Yes. Let's see.
So a couple of people have made this comment. I just think we should talk about this real quick.
Yes,
a lot of
please
people
help
are
me.
saying
I'm so backed up.
Okay, so Crystal and Paige have both asked about gaining weight.
Okay.
And I think that's a really good question, right? Because my experience was like I needed to lose weight, or I wanted to lose weight. But I think like what we're talking about can also be applied to gaining weight as well. Working out, eating proteins, eating the right carbs, eating healthy fats, like getting your body moving, that can also help you to gain weight.
Right. So Crystal, you would stay kind of not focus as much on like cardio as you would focus on like lifting. And probably like, I mean, if you don't have access to weights, you could even do like body weight. You could take your laundry detergent, right? Like your laundry detergent bottle, gallons of water, cans, right? I mean, believe me, I've done it all. And definitely, how do you gain weight? But also you don't want to do it like by eating ice cream, right? I would say adding in, getting an appropriate amount of, carbs, fats, proteins for yourself, and like adding, an extra 2 meals or something. Here's a great thing is to add, this is going to sound crazy to you, but add 2 protein shakes into your day. I'm telling you, you're like, wait, add calories? Like, yes, like there you go.
This is the best protein shake ever. It's Fairlife Core Power. They have these, and this is 26 grams per bottle. They also have a 42 grams per bottle. I love this. I literally drink 2 of these every day. I love them.
Yes, that is. Yeah, I like I do the Boost Ensure. I'm old lady. I like the Boost Ensure with low sugar for diabetics pretty much. Because it has like a very low amount of like carbs. Because I used to be on the Atkins one, but they had like 10 or 12 grams of carbs like in one protein shake, and I was like, whoa. Like
this has 1 net carb in it.
Okay, yeah, so that's awesome.
Yeah. I love those things. Replace your energy drinks with those.
Can we get some brand endorsement?
I know, right?
We're doing all kinds of commercials here tonight. Can we get some money for this? Hi, Becky.
Oh my
Um,
goodness, there's so many comments. Okay, there's a couple of I think Sarah Schneed is on here talking about forgiving herself, and somebody else
mhm.
is talking about, do we ever have survivor's guilt?
Hmm. And we've got one talking about kratom too. Off of kratom and the way it makes you feel like your head is off your body is wild. Message me. I'll tell you all about it. We can get. I can give you all the tips. Yeah. Remember, I kept saying that. Like I feel like my
You
head's not
did.
attached to my body. Sonya,
Yes.
every morning I would text her. Okay. Where are the? I'm so lost in the comments. I'm
I
gonna need your
know.
help.
I love how many people are commenting on here. I love it. Like, this has really been interactive tonight, but I'm struggling to keep up with the comments too.
Yes. Um.
So I think Sarah is coming up as Facebook user
Okay.
because I've looked for her name and I can't find it.
Okay.
I just want to ask once more and hope you ladies might see this. Have you ever experienced survivor's guilt?
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I have many times, as a matter of fact. And not even just from being in recovery, but I've experienced people that I love dying is a big part of my story. So my first love passed away in 2003. He was the first person I ever knew to overdose, and he called me the night before he passed away, and I did take his call because he was drinking. They found him the next morning on his couch at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I have always wondered, what if, should I have, maybe he would still be
Mm,
here, but I eventually just had to come to a point where I just believe that God is sovereign, and whatever his plan is, even if I don't understand it, I know he's not suffering. I know he's at peace, and I just had to surrender that, because whatever happened the way that it was supposed to, even though it was tragic. I mean, that's the way. Nobody can change the day that we go, right? Like when we have a date with death, like we can't change that, and that was just his day to go. And even in recovery, I've experienced that as well. My sister-in-law passed away on March 7th, 2021. I was just telling somebody about it today. That's the story I was going to tell you too. But,
mhm.
and she had 4 years clean. And one morning I woke up, checked my Facebook first thing in the morning, and that's how I found out she passed away. It was a
Ugh.
really hard day. And the
Oh my
reason I stayed clean
goodness.
that day is because I had a service commitment. But, you always, like, I think it's a natural reaction to say, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I could have not done this. Maybe that would have saved their life. But the truth is like, we're not that powerful. And
Mm, mm, mm,
our
mm.
understanding is so small. Like, we only understand in part right now. So one day, like, they're going to be there waiting on us. We get to see them again. It's just not in this life.
Right, right. Yeah, I love how you said that, we're just not that powerful, you
Mhm.
know, and I struggled a lot like when my dad passed away because it was like, I'm like, why didn't I help him? Like I knew he was struggling, like I knew he was so sad he couldn't stop, because he was just he had this spirit of grief on him. You could just see it in his eyes, and I just wish, like, why didn't I try to help him? Why didn't I, but I was so sick myself. I couldn't even help
Mhm.
myself. And I didn't have the emotional ability to even cope with being able to have that conversation. It would have put me into a spiral. I would have had to self medicate for days to even have that
Mhm.
conversation, and that's awful, and it does make me feel like, God, Jamie, like that was so freaking weak, like you couldn't have this conversation with him. But I'll tell you, I learned from it, I definitely learned from it. And, like you said, Sonya, like I am not that powerful when God puts a, when God says, okay, that's,
Mhm.
it's so hard. I remember when my spiritual father, my mentor, passed away. January of 2020, and nobody knew what was wrong with him. He had diabetes and he had cancer, but he had something had happened, and nobody could kind of figure it out. And he passed away, and I didn't understand it. And then COVID happened, and it was like, I feel like God took him because COVID would have taken him, you know.
Yeah.
So my small understanding, maybe that's where I get my comfort.
Right. Yeah, there's a chapter, 2 Corinthians 13. It's very popular. It's the chapter about love. Love is patient, love is kind, love is, and so on and so forth. If you look it up, it talks about our understanding and how we only understand things in part. And one day we'll understand things in full, but for now, we just don't. We lack understanding. And I think if we love somebody, like, it's our natural reaction to feel like we could have done more. I think it's
Mhm.
just a natural reaction, but just grief is so hard, man. It's so hard.
And then also, like, even feeling like, man, like, why me? Like, why am I here?
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
it's just crazy. Like, we will never understand until we like get there. And then when we get there, it's going to be like, like instant, everything
Mhm.
we've always wondered, we will already know the answer to. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Like, we won't even have to ask. We'll be like, oh.
You know what? You just triggered a memory I want to share. So, before I got clean, I was in a halfway house with a girl and we became really good friends, right? And then we slipped up, relapsed together. And I eventually got arrested, went to treatment. Got out of treatment. She was one of the first people that I looked up when I got out of treatment. And the day that I got arrested, I overdosed and I made it. Like, I fell out on the floor. I was down for 6 hours, but I made it. And the police showed up to pick me up right after I woke up from that overdose. Well, that same day she overdosed as well, and she didn't make it. And I found out about it when I got out of treatment. And I wondered for the longest time, like, why me? Why not her? Why me? And I'll never know the answer to that. I'm never going to be able to wrap my head around that. But this is what I know. Today, I am part of the solution. I am no longer a part of the problem. I'm not giving drugs. I'm not selling drugs. I'm not doing drugs. I'm not co-signing your shit when I know that you're going down the wrong path. Like, I'm going to be part of the solution. And if I can help somebody find recovery, I'm going to take the opportunity to do that. And today, I get to live my life in honor of hers and be her voice, because she doesn't have a voice anymore. Now I get to be her voice. I get to have that responsibility. And I don't take that responsibility lightly. I don't know why me and why not her, but I know that I'm here and I know that I'm going to do something with what I have left.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
Denise, can you put in the comments where you are at, what state you are in, what area you are in, so I can see if we can address that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like this. So worth it just for a season.
Yes. So true. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said something about struggling with getting in recovery after being on amphetamines. And I think the best thing that you could do for that is, like, just like we've said, incorporate vitamins into your routine in the morning. That helped me a lot. Drinking water, eating right, and all of those things, and getting to the gym. Small but significant changes, and your energy will come back, because it takes months,
It does.
months
Yeah.
before your brain even starts working again. Like, those scripts
Mm-hmm.
have to reroute themselves. So just let those things happen first and then start making those small changes. But give yourself some grace right now. Like, give yourself some slack. It takes time. Just like the last comment said, Dell, I think, like, it's just a
Mm-hmm.
season.
And I look, can I tell you a little bit about, like, when I started my workouts, where my workouts started was literally an 11-minute workout in my apartment at the sober living, because that's all I could do was 11 minutes. And I did like, 10 jumping jacks, like, 12 squats. I did some side sit-ups, like just little, I mean, just to whatever I could do. And then it went from 11 minutes to 14 minutes, and then 14 minutes to 17 minutes. And then, then I started being able to do a little bit of walking, you know what I mean? And then I finally ended up joining a gym, and I ended up joining this gym. It was called 9 Round, and it was kickboxing, but it was awesome because you got to like punch these punching bags, and I was angry as hell. So I loved going in there punching bags, and I felt so strong, right? Like going in there, and I would be dying in those workouts. I used to smoke cigarettes then. It was crazy, but it was a 30-minute workout, but I started at home, right? I started doing what I could do, which was only 11 minutes, but I did it, like 5 days a week, and made sure I was consistent with it. So that's starting small, and you just grow and you just add. So now I do 5 days and I do an hour and a half. Okay. And my trainer is crazy. I got him a t-shirt for his birthday. It says "Torture by Trey." He tortures us. I said, I don't know who's more sick, you or me, because I keep coming back.
I love that suggestion though. Like, even if it's just like getting out and walking around the block with one of your friends, like just start small and do it consistently. Like you said, consistency is the key.
Yes, get a buddy. Get a buddy. Believe me, people will come do it with you. Everybody's going through the same thing. So definitely. Ruben, hello. Rose, have you tried the Calm app and meditation? I have not tried the Calm app. I've heard of it. Let's see. Boy, we love sugar. We sure do. Still to this day. My boyfriend is a certified dietitian. Oh, that's awesome, Jackie.
Yes.
Good to see you on here, Jackie.
I would be picking his brain.
For real. I'd be asking all the questions. Nuts and eat lots of grapes. Okay, that's cool. I do berries. That's my deal. Is berries. Strawberries and blueberries are my things. So we have so many more questions, but man, we don't really have like so much more time.
Yeah, we can continue this conversation next week, and maybe we could talk about other triggers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. So we will be back next week on Sonya's channel. I put in the description this time our YouTube channels. I don't know if you guys can see them on there or not. I hope I did it right. We're still trying to figure out how to use StreamYard. We're going to be together for collaboration. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Sonya and I are going to be collaborating in person. At the end of January. I'm going to have some. We're trying to come for a whole week because Adam's family is over there, so we're trying to come for like a whole 5-6 days. So to be able to spend a couple days, collaborating with you and then with his family and all this. So yeah,
I can't wait.
It's gonna be so fun, you guys. It's gonna be off the chain. Yes, in person together. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you do a TikTok dance with me too.
You're about to see my coordination.
Okay.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you guys for being here so much. And we will see you next Monday, same time, Sonya's channel. And we'll pick up on this conversation again for sure.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, cool. All right.